Greetings. I welcome all my Manna TV viewers to this prevention program for a healthy life. I have a quotation from the book of Psalm, chapter 103, verse 3. He forgives all your sins and heals all your diseases. What a nice verse is this one, because today there are so many people, they are sick. Now my program is how to control sickness and how to have a healthy life. Today's topic for discussion is about metabolic syndrome that leads to diabetes mellitus. There is a strong connection between diabetes mellitus and metabolic syndrome. Other risk factors are cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart attacks. What are the contributing agents for metabolic syndrome? That's what we are going to see today. There are so many agents which are contributing for metabolic syndrome. Some of the agents are, or some of the factors are, high cholesterol level, high triglyceride level, high blood pressure, obesity, sedentary lifestyle, smoking, alcoholism, and hyperglycemia. Now let me go one at a time from the beginning. Let's start high cholesterol level. When we think about high cholesterol level, we have to think about total cholesterol, low density lipoprotein, that is called LDL, and sometimes we call bad cholesterol. Then we have HDL, that is high density lipoprotein, and that is called good cholesterol. So now what is total cholesterol? Total cholesterol is equal to low density lipoprotein plus high density lipoprotein. In other words, bad cholesterol plus good cholesterol equals to total cholesterol. Now, what is the optimum total cholesterol level? Now, the total cholesterol, desirable total cholesterol level is less than 200 milligram. That is a desirable one. High cholesterol level is about 240 milligram and higher. So, desirable one is less than 200 milligram and high over 240 milligram. So, our idea is to bring the total cholesterol less than 200 to have a healthy life. Then let me talk about LDL, that is the bad cholesterol. Optimal level for low density lipoprotein is less than 100 milligram. Then high level is between 160 and 189 milligram. So between 160 189 milligram is considered to be high low density lipoprotein. Very high density lipoprotein is considered to be greater than 190, or in other words we can say 190 or above 190 milligram is considered to be very high low density lipoprotein. So we should strive to have less than 100 milligram. Then let us look about HDL, high density lipoprotein. High density lipoprotein is actually very good for heart, and also it protects from diabetes too. Now, when it is coming to 40 milligram, then it is considered to be low, very low, and the good amount is actually between 44 to 55 milligram. That means HDL, high density lipoprotein, if we have between 44 and 55 milligram, then it is considered to be very good. When it is coming to 60 milligram, then it is very high. So, very high HDL and very low HDL, they are not good for our health. So, the best one is between 44 and 55 milligram of HDL. Now, let us go one by one little bit about this total cholesterol, LDL and HDL. LDL, if it is going higher and higher, there is a sure chance of getting metabolic syndrome. That means we might get diabetes or many kinds of cardiovascular diseases. Now, if we have HDL in the normal range, 44 to 55 milligram, then we have a good chance that we will not get metabolic syndrome faster, or we may prevent metabolic syndrome. How to diagnose metabolic syndrome? There are few methods that we can find out whether we are a candidate for metabolic syndrome. Number one, have a regular visit to see a doctor. When a person has a regular visit for an annual checkup or to have a blood test, then the doctor will decide whether a person needs to have a blood test or urine test, X-ray or ECG. After the physical check, usually the doctors will order a lab test, urine analysis, an X-ray and an ECG. Now, after getting the results of all these things, doctors can predict whether that person has or will be having metabolic syndrome soon, or is that person going to be a candidate for diabetes, stroke, heart attack and many other cardiovascular events. Then there is another way of diagnosing metabolic syndrome. If a person has any three of the metabolic risk factors that I called agents for metabolic syndrome, like high cholesterol level, high triglyceride level, high blood pressure, sedentary lifestyle, smoking, alcoholism, hyperglycemia. If a person has any three of these risk factors, then that person may have or may get diabetes mellitus, usually diabetes type 2, cardiovascular disorders or cardiovascular diseases. Now, let us see how to control metabolic syndrome. We have discussed about diagnosing metabolic syndrome. Now, it is a good idea how to control metabolic syndrome. Treatments for metabolic syndrome are: number one, have a heart healthy diet. A heart friendly diet is also a friendly diet not to get diabetes. A friendly diet is composed of using whole grains, legumes, lots of fruits and vegetables of many kinds, including green leaves and many kinds of nuts. If we include all these things what I have told, then surely we have a heart healthy diet, or we can say a friendly diet not to get diabetes. If possible, avoid beef, pork, or goat meat or sheep meat. Avoid if possible, because they have a lot of saturated fats. Saturated fats are actually giving trouble for heart, for kidneys, and also as a whole it is not a very healthy choice. It is true, meat has high amount of high quality protein, if you wanted to say. It's a good protein source. But then we can get protein from other sources also, like legumes. They have good source of protein, plant-based protein, good for kidney, comparing with animal source protein. Then also proteins from eggs are better than the protein that we get from meat. Then have a good exercise program that lasts about 30 minutes to 1 hour. A balanced exercise program will include exercises that will increase the muscle tone and also muscle strength. At the same time, a good exercise also will give bone density. At the same time, our exercise program also should include a workout for, or we can say an exercise that is good for our cardiovascular system. This type of exercise that is good for cardiovascular system will help us to have a good blood circulation to all our tissues and all our organs and to all our organ systems. That means entire body. At the same time, while the blood is circulating very efficiently to all parts of the body, oxygen is also supplied to all parts of the body, including brain. A programmed exercise program that should also include to have a range of motion for our joints. If we can improve the range of motion for the joints, then we can also reduce the chances of getting arthritis. Every person can find 30 to 45 minutes for exercise during the 24-hour period. When it comes to exercise, many people say, well, I don't have time to do any exercises because I am very, very busy. This is not true. Every individual can find 30 minutes or 35 minutes at least for exercise. If we cannot devote 30 or 35 minutes for our well-being, then what is the use of living? So our body is the primary concern. Then all others are secondary. So we can find, if anybody says, I don't have time, that means that person is just lazy. Even in the busy schedule of a person, after working 2 or 3 hours in the office or in the factory or wherever they are working, everybody can find the 10 to 15 minutes of break time. During this 10 to 15 minutes of break time, after a few hours of busy program, take a break of 10 to 15 minutes. Devote the break time for a short walk. If you have staircases in the buildings, just walk up and down. And this type of exercise, walking on the staircases, will increase the cardiovascular efficiency and also muscle tone, and also building a strong muscles and bones. Don't forget to do that one. So if you do 10 to 15 minutes of exercise every 2 to 3 hours for 3 times, that means you are getting at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes of exercise. So you have completed your exercise program. Even if you don't have a time, you can find time, and here is the time to do the exercise, and it is good for your health. If your job is in the walking distance, do not take any motorbike, cars or scooters. Walk from home to the workplace. After the work is finished, from the office, walk to the house. And definitely you have covered your exercise program in this way too. So doing exercise is so simple, and doing exercise is going to be an enjoyable event for everybody. Follow these simple steps. You will enjoy every day. Now here is another one that we should understand: how to lower the bad cholesterol. Bad cholesterol is the one that gives the metabolic syndrome. Now, if somehow we can lower the LDL, a good exercise lasting 45 minutes to 1 hour can really bring the bad cholesterol down. And while doing that exercise to bring the bad cholesterol down, we are doing something good to our body. We are also increasing the HDL, that means the good cholesterol. We are also increasing at that time. So we are having 2 benefits: increasing the good cholesterol and decreasing the bad cholesterol. Therefore, we are doing a good thing for our body. Continue to do that one exercise, 45 to 1 hour. 2 benefits: reducing bad cholesterol. By reducing bad cholesterol, you are clearing your blood vessels you are clearing the blood vessels not to deposit bad cholesterol. By increasing the good cholesterol is actually helping also not to have the plaque for the blood vessels. So it is very good for our health. Choosing a healthy diet plan will help you to lower the low density lipoprotein and increase the high density lipoprotein. Now, exercise is not only increasing the good cholesterol and decreasing the bad cholesterol, the type of food what we eat also do the same thing, or the food can help to increase good cholesterol and decrease bad cholesterol. At the same time, the food what we are using is not the correct type, then it will increase the bad cholesterol and decrease the good cholesterol. So food what we eat is the main thing if we are going to have good health or if we have bad health. Choosing a healthy diet plan will help you to lower the bad cholesterol, increase the good cholesterol. Prevent diabetes. By preventing diabetes, you may avoid complications of diabetes, eliminate or delay. This way, you can control metabolic syndrome. That means by selecting right kind of food or selecting good type of diet, we can control metabolic syndrome. Stop smoking. Avoid alcoholic drinks. This may help you to reduce metabolic syndrome. In other way, stop smoking and avoiding alcoholic drinks will reduce the risk of metabolic syndrome. Smoking will definitely increase the chances of cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and strokes. Alcoholic drinks in the wrong hand is actually a wrong blend. Therefore, if anybody offers a drink, say no to alcoholic drinks because it will help you in the long run. Sometime, if a person is diabetic, a complete control may not be possible by exercise and the right choice of food alone. But then, sometime we need anti-diabetic drugs. We have to take medications to not to have any complications of diabetes. So, a good exercise program, wise selection of foods, and also good medications. In other words, appropriate medications for diabetes. All these three can help you. At the same time, all the complications and consequences of diabetes mellitus will be controlled and complications will be reduced. A person can have a normal life or very near normal life. So, make a change for better. Never treat yourselves only with the prescription of your doctor. If you take any medications, never treat yourselves. Always with the advice of your doctor, take the medications. If you follow these steps mentioned, you can control metabolic syndrome, thus controlling diabetes, heart problems, stroke, blood pressure. Now let us look at some terms and terminologies to understand in relation to diabetes. These terms and terminologies will help you to understand diabetes mellitus. Here is a word called insulin resistance. What is it? When body does not respond effectively to insulin produced by the beta cells of pancreas, such a condition is known as insulin resistance. So, what is insulin resistance? That means the pancreas producing sufficient amount of insulin required for metabolism. But somehow the insulin produced is not utilized by the body. And if it is not utilized by the body, then it is called insulin resistance. So, if a person is overweight and obese, insulin resistance precedes obesity. So, try to reduce weight if we are overweight. Then here is another word, pre-diabetic. Who is a pre-diabetic? A pre-diabetic is not diabetic at all. It is a condition when blood sugar level is higher than normal, but not high enough to call a diabetic. That condition is called pre-diabetic. Remember, a pre-diabetic is not a diabetic at all, but it may lead to diabetes mellitus later on if we are not careful with our lifestyles. The normal sugar level in the plasma blood is between 70 to 110 milligrams deciliter. Some clinical labs may have 70 to 100 milligram. A plasma glucose level 126 or above is called diabetic. Therefore, a person is considered pre-diabetic when plasma glucose level reads between 110 to 125 milligram per deciliter. Even though a pre-diabetic is not considered a diabetic, the chances are that the majority of pre-diabetic may become diabetic later in life if there are no exercise programs, wrong lifestyle, and also smoking. Remember, avoid all these things for a better, healthy life. I would like to give you my suggestions. Do not worry if a person is diabetic. Many people can get this one. You are not alone. But remember, with proper diet, good exercise program, and a positive life activities and a positive thinking, we all can do something good. That means we can ward off diabetes mellitus at the earliest time. Remember the steps that I have given you today. Psalms 103. He forgives all your sins and heals all your diseases. Therefore, do not worry about diabetes mellitus. With God and with God's help and your effort, you can have a healthy life. Remember, 3 John verse 2. Dear friends, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you till I talk to you. God bless you.